Hello, howdy, how are you guys? Boy, this ring light's reflecting off my glasses. How are you guys tonight? Howdy. We're gonna do a project tonight that is going to utilize our February Club of the Month transfer. It is adorable. It is a cowboy boot. And you can add different layers to it. Now, we've done this before. Today, we're gonna do a little bit different. When you join the Club Couture, you get a monthly special transfer mailed to your door every month. And they also include a chockable shape. And this month, it is the boot. Do you see how this transfer is gonna fit right on the boot? That's what we're gonna do. And so, in order to get this, you have to be a member of the club. If you want information, type in the word club in the comments and it'll send you a link with more information. Also, if you want to get the details and all the products that I'm using in this project, type in the word howdy, howdy. Check your messenger. You'll receive a link back with a shopping list that's pre-built for you. Now, I am using the rustic round tonight, and this is in our shop normally, but it's out of stock right now. So you could use any round you want or any other surface you want. It comes like this. It comes unpainted. But I went ahead and to save time, I painted it in our blue, which is called Cadet Blue. So I painted it. I left an area in the middle because I'm going to use another transfer. I'm going to use two other transfers on this. I'm going to put the word howdy, howdy, right in the middle where it's brown. And I'm also going to use this bandana pattern on the blue parts. I'm going to chalk it in white. So we've got a few things going on today. I hope you guys will enjoy this project. I'm going to go ahead and sand this just a little bit. Now, the way I painted these lines on is I went ahead and I put some masking tape to mask out the areas that I did not want to paint. And then I went ahead and watered down my Cadet paste and I painted it on, but I painted it on using a makeup sponge. So it was kind of like I was staining it. I just rubbed it on. Now it doesn't have a real crisp line up here, but I was thinking maybe I would outline that in black when I'm done. I'm not sure yet. But for right now, I thought I would go ahead and sand this down a little bit. If you sand it down, the smoother your paint or your surface is, the better your transfer is going to stick and the cleaner, crisper lines you're going to get when you actually chalk. Now, I love this blue color, this Cadet color. I really, really love it. So I don't want to take it all off. And some of my paste is actually colored a little bit of this area here, but that's okay for me. I like it like that. I'm trying to imitate like a bandana that you would buy at the store for the Western wear. And rodeo is kind of dear to our heart here in Tucson, Arizona. Next week is rodeo week for us. And it's so important that we have the largest non-mechanized parade in the country. And we actually have school off for that day. So all the kids that have classes that go to school, the public schools, have that day off. We don't get President's Day off on Monday. We get Thursday and Friday off for rodeo. And that has always been a very nice benefit. Very nice. I love it. A lot of people go ahead and use it as vacation days. They take off from work, and it's a perfect time to take your kids to Disneyland because no one else in the country has that time off. So it's perfect. Okay, since I'm going to go ahead, I sanded this down because I want it to be a nice, clean, nice smooth surface to chalk on. Oh, this is really coming off a little bit. But I also am going to put another transfer on it. So I'm going to use wax, surface wax, and I am out of my Chalk Couture surface wax. So I'm going to use this other wax right here. I'm going to go ahead and do the brown part first because it seems to be transferring a lot of the blue chalk. And normally this chalk does not smear. This is fully dried and it does not smear, but because I sanded it, it kind of lifted it up a little bit. Okay, so, whoa, so much for my chalk, my paste, my wax. I caught it, guys. It is over everything though. But I'm gonna go ahead and wax the entire surface because it protects both the surface. It'll protect that paste from coming up down below, and it will also protect my transfer from stretching out as I pull it up. So pasting is a very important part, or waxing I should say, is a very important part of layering your paste and using wooden surfaces. So don't forget to do that. Now I've got this on. You don't want a real thick layer. You do want to kind of buff it off afterwards because you don't want any thick areas of wax. Well, that was kind of fun to have that flying through the air. But we're going to get going and we're going to use our transfers. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is chalk on my bandana pattern. So I want to get that pattern on the blue areas, only the blue. I should probably mask off a little bit of this. Did I get my masking tape? I'm going to go ahead and mask off that brown part again, just because when I paste on that bandana pattern, I don't want it to go over that brown area. So I'm going to go ahead and mask it again. And what the masking does is it will block off that area. It'll make me more aware of what to chalk and what not to chalk. So I'm going to butt it right up against that blue line. Smooth it down. Okay. Do the same thing for the bottom line. Just to cover that up. And we're going to be chalking white chalk over this blue surface, just like a bandana pattern. So I'm going to make sure that that tape is down really good. The edges. I'm going to go ahead. These transfers are sticky. They are reusable. I'm going to peel it from its backer. And since this is a pretty big one, I'm going to peel it halfway. And then you want to lessen that sticky because you don't want it to harm, to pull up that paint. So we are going to lay down a piece of cloth. It could be a towel. It could be a dish mat. It can be your shirt if it's small enough, a pair of your pants. I'm using our fuzzing towel, our fuzzing cloth. And I'm just going to do it a couple times on each side. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and I'm going to do the other side. So I don't want to remove the whole thing. Sometimes these can stick to themselves and they become, they get stuck and it makes it more difficult to work with because you have to fix the unsticking. And sometimes if they get stuck too bad, you have to take them to the sink and work them apart from each other under running water. So it is fixable most of the time, but it's better off just not to get it stuck to itself in the first place. Did you guys have a great day today? I had such an awesome day. I just accomplished so much. I enjoyed. The weather here has been great. And so I've been in the planting mood. Let's see how I want to do this. Do I want to do it like this? Or angle it? I might want to do... I think I'm going to do it at an angle and lift it. So I'm going to do both sides, but I want most of the pattern to be on the bandana. I'm going to smooth this down. Make sure there's not any air bubbles. If there's air bubbles under your transfer between that and the surface, your paste is going to bleed, and you don't want that. So here we go. I've got my paste. It's at a great consistency. I've got my squeegee. I am going to, I'm going to stir this up a little bit. Does seem a little loose. Okay, so I'm going to get some paste on my squeegee, and I'm just going to go over all those silkscreen areas. Wherever you can see the surface down below, that is the silkscreen, and that's where the paste is going to go through. It's going to go through down to the surface below, and as long as you pick this transfer up while the paste is still wet, it will stay down on that surface. So our paste is a great consistency. Sometimes it is dry and sometimes it gets it dries on you too quickly, and that forces you to kind of move a little faster than you normally would. But our paste does feel great. I want to make sure I get the edge of this. And now that I think I have everything covered, I'm going to go over it and remove and smooth out this paste that I put on. It makes it a nicer texture. and it also lets it dry a little bit faster. Okay, I'm gonna set aside my squeegee, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel this up a little at a time, and I'm gonna peel it away from me. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing, but as I'm gonna peel it, oh my gosh, guys, I'm kind of looking at it to see if I missed any spots. And I think it looks amazing. Can you guys see that pattern? I am in love, guys. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and dry this just a little bit. I'm gonna lift the transfer off completely and I'm gonna reposition it. But since it is so beautiful, I don't wanna take the chance of messing up this beautiful artwork. I love it, guys. I absolutely love it. I love it on the blue. I do have a little spot where it bled a little bit here, and I can clean it up once it's dry, or I can leave it and just ignore it. This paste does dry pretty fast. It's water soluble, and since I scraped off the top layer, it should dry really quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this around so that what I just chalked is at the top. I'm gonna lift this transfer. I'm actually gonna lay my backer sheet down over what I've already chalked, just for extra protection. This has got some paste on the back that could go through, and I don't want it to go through. So I am going to try and get this straight on my mat. And I am using my cutting mat tonight. I don't always use it. I usually use a silicone mat. But for this one, I wanted it to be straight. And I wanted to ensure that it wasn't going cattywampus. So let's see. I don't remember how I did this, but I think I had the edges right to this edge, so that I got the most of the pattern on it. So this is going to get this, I don't necessarily need that line though. And I'm not sure what I did on the bottom. I'm going to smooth this over. Do you see how I just got paste when I moved it on this? That's why I put down the transfer backer, just to kind of prevent some of that transfer paste that I don't intend to do. This is okay though, so I'm gonna go ahead and, because it is masked off and it's ready to go. So I am gonna have some of this line here, which I probably should have moved it up. Well, we'll see how it looks. If I didn't have this line, we'll see how it looks. I probably should have moved it a little bit. I do want to make sure I get all the way up to the tape. And I want to get to the edges of my round. Don't want to neglect those edges. Okay, so I think I've got it on pretty good. I'm going to start smoothing out the paste. I do have like an air bubble right there. I hope we're going to be okay. Right there, there's a couple air bubbles. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lift this slowly and we'll see what happens. Good so far. Okay, so where I have that air bubble, right here, I do have bleeding, unfortunately. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and just go ahead and lay it down for right now. Let me cap up my white because I think I'm done with it. Let me do a quick cleanup on my mat. And I'm going to leave those bleeds for now. I'm going to wait till this is completely dry before I clean that up. Okay. I'm going to dry this a little bit. Now I do want to also pull my tape up when it's pretty wet. So not pretty wet, but not completely dry. And I'm not sure what happened to the pattern right there. So you can see that here's my tape, and I did miss a little bit of the pattern right here. Let me see if I can figure out what I did. You know what, I'm not gonna worry about it. Just pay attention when you do it to get a little better, do a little better job than I did. I'm gonna go ahead and lift this tape. So here you can see the blank area of that blue. But I do still have my brown, kind of brown. This is what it looks like. So do you guys see the bleeds right up through here? This is where my air bubble was. So that allowed the paste to move. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm gonna dry it up a little more, and I think I will go ahead and outline this in black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tape again, and I'm just going to go a little bit below the line. And then I'm going to go over the paste area. Now, I want to make sure that this is dry. I don't want to pull that up. I might want to wax it again. Let me see. I'm going to wax that little area. Just a little bit. Wax this down here. Just because I'm going to put that tape on there and I don't want it to pull up. So the best thing to prevent that is actually I should use a thinner tape. So the less tape I have to put on that area, the better. This is a thinner tape. Let's go ahead and add it. As you guys jump on tonight, please say hello, say howdy, so I know that you're watching. It did smear a little bit right there. Wonder if that's still wet. Smear that down, and I'm going to do a black line just to offset it a little bit. Okay, so I've got my black paste right here. Very little of it. I'm going to get a squeegee. See what I can get out of this. Make sure it's down, and I'm just going to go right over that blank area, right over the tape, to make a black line. Just to offset it, clean it up just a little bit. I'm very excited about this project. I think it's going to be great. I hope it's something that you guys will love. I hope it turns out good. We're also going to do our word howdy in the black. I'm kind of thinking of shadowing it, though. I don't know exactly. Make sure I've got coverage in that entire line. And I'm just smoothing that paste. And I'm going to use my black again, so I'm going to leave it out, up, 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 and up. And you can see on the back of the tape, it did pull a little bit of the white up, so be careful if you do it that way. Okay, let's see if I can wipe up a little bit. And I do have a little bit of black smudge right here. Okay, let's dry that. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to set this aside and we're going to go ahead and work on our boot. So here is our little surface. It's adorable. Here's our boot. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a little, this is a 2-piece transfer. You don't have to use it in 2 steps, but I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and do this part of our boot. Okay, so it's going to cover it a little bit at the top, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of center this down. And so this part that's kind of checkerboarded, and my nose is starting to run, is going to be in our shimmer melon. It's a really pretty color, really pretty. Oops, there it is. It's kind of all at the top. I'm going to stir it because it's all at the top right now. Just stir it up, and if it's a little on the dry side, you can spray it with a couple spritzes of distilled water, just like a little half a spritz at a time. This looks pretty good though. So this is our shimmer melon, and I am just going to spread it over this checkerboard pattern right here, right onto our surface down below. They give us, they just kind of started doing these accessory pieces with our Club Couture transfers every month, and they are so much fun. They really elevate your project because it adds another dimension to it. Okay, done with that. I do have some on the lid here. I'm just going to go ahead and scrape that off. Put it back in my jar. I don't want that to dry out sooner than the rest. So I'm going to try and make that, oops, go in the jar. And I hate to waste, but I do get messy quite a bit. Now remember, we want to peel that transfer off while our paste is still wet. So we do still have time right now. So here we go. Can you guys see this? Let me see. You guys can't see. Peeling it off, and it looks like it needs a little bit right there. It's just messy, missing a little bit. So when you peel it off a little bit at a time, you can go back and correct anything that doesn't look right. If you didn't get good coverage, just lay the transfer down. As long as you have not pulled it off all the way, it should go right back down. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with this corner here. Okay, that looks a little better. So here's what we have so far. And I don't think that you guys can really see the full effect of that shimmer. It's just really pretty, really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this squeegee off. And I'm gonna use it again for our next color, which is gonna be our bark, but I'm gonna dry it first. We're gonna lay that transfer over the top. So we wanna dry it and we wanna add the surface wax. If you guys are enjoying this, please hit that heart button. Let me know that you're watching. The more interactions I get, the more Facebook will show my videos to other people. So I'd love to get your interaction. Give me a heart. Tell me a comment. Tell me a story. Please interact with me. And That way I can continue making these videos. I love doing them, and I hope you do too. Feel free to ask me any questions that you want to. The link to get the keyword to get the link to the products for tonight is Howdy, Howdy. Type in Howdy in the comments. Check your messenger. You'll have a link. There's no commitment to look. Just go ahead and take a look and see what you think about it. The club is just great because it's automatically delivered to you every month to your doorstep. You don't have to do anything. And they give you, not only do you get an exclusive transfer every month, it's only available to Club Couture members and designers, but you also get different specials every month. So sometimes they may give you a special sale. They may give you discount prices on paste or surface. There's always something extra for club members. They love to take care of their club members. So it is fun. And it's a 3-month commitment. So once you sign up, it's $21.99 a month. And it's a 3-month commitment. And then if you decide you don't want to do it, you can cancel. But I really don't think you would want to cancel. It's just a great program. A lot of fun. It's always a surprise too. Okay, add a little bit of surface wax to that. Now I'm going to layer on the rest of my boot. And I'm not fuzzing this because I've already used this a couple times, so I know it's not going to stick too terribly bad. I'm just lining this up so that I feel like I have an even margin around my boot. And I'm going to press it down. You really want to press it down around those silkscreen areas to make sure that everything's on there good. I was almost going to do gold. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do my bark. So this is my bark. This one's kind of a funny texture. It's one of my older pastes, but it still works. And like I said, if it's too dry, you can add some distilled water and mix up really, really well. So notice that some of this paste is going on right on top of that shimmer melon, right on top. I'll make sure I get my toe of my boot, my outline of my boot, the sole, and the heel. I'm smoothing out my paste now to make an even application. Take off any excess, which helps it dry. Excess paste goes back in the jar, lid goes on, and let's peel it up. Can you guys see this? Let's see. I think I'm not showing you guys enough. Here we go. I'm looking. It looks awesome, guys. Do you guys see the detail in that boot? See how it overlaid that pattern on the pattern down below? It's awesome. Look at that. So we're going to use this. I just dropped my glue gun over the side. Let me go get that real quick. Okay, so I got that. I turned it on. Now I'm going to show you how to clean this transfer. When we took it off the backer sheet, we kept our backer sheet. That's very important. These are reusable silkscreen transfers. They can be reused between 8 and 12 times, depending on how well you take care of it. They're very easy to take care of. Just make sure that you clean them as soon as you can after you chalk them, because it comes out easier the fresher it is. I just wet it down with regular water from the tap, and I use a paper towel on the first pass over. Now this is pretty clean. Can you guys see that? But I also have what's called a board eraser sitting in water over here. This is in your cart. I feel like it's essential to clean these transfers. It makes it so easy. So even though you may have thought that looked clean in the first place, look how much paste it still got out. Now you do want to clean both sides. I'm going to clean my surface underneath, flip it over, and I'm going to spray it with water. Now there's not a lot of paste on the back side, but you can see there is some. So I am just going to spray this down, and I'm going to use my board eraser. I'll use this side that I didn't use. This is the one I used. I'm going to use this side. And I'm just going to lightly go over it. You do want to take care not to harm that adhesive on the side, because the beauty of these being reusable is that sticky is still on there. Now, since I did paste over shimmer, I can see a little bit of shimmer left, but look how much paste that still got out of the back side. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry both sides. This side is sticky. It has adhesive, but when it's wet, you can glide a paper towel over it. Then I lift it up, and then I go over the front side and I dry it really well. Okay, get all that water out of the silk screen. And as you do it, it also kind of picks up anything that might be residing. I'm going to flip it over sticky side up. And I'm not going to use, I don't think I'm going to use the flowers, but these have two different sides. There's a white side and a yellow side. The white side is going to go down to the sticky side. You're going to line it up, smooth it down, and then just make sure that it is on there and stuck well. And I let it sit out for about an hour to finish drying. And then I put it back in the cellophane wrapper that it came in. That protects it. You don't have to put it in the wrapper. Some people hang them, but I feel like the wrappers already have a hole, so they're good for hanging. And I feel like it protects it a little bit. Okay, we've got a couple steps done. We have a few more to go. I'm going to set this aside. It's still a little wet. Okay, so I have got this. Wonder if I can kind of take some of this off. Let's see. I'll work on that later. Now, on this, I already did cut lines. It comes with these white lines drawn in here, but you can either cut the whole transfer apart with the backer, or you can just cut the lines where each transfer separates. So this is really 1, 2, 3, 4 different transfers. And if I cut it properly, it will separate. If I didn't, I have to get my scissors out. Okay. Okay. New transfer. I'm going to fuzz it on my shirt this time because it's smaller, it fits, and it works. Okay, so as I think about this, I want my Howdy, ooh, barely fits there, to go about there. And I'm going to want my boot to go right here. So, okay, that's touching that line. So I want to move it down. It's kind of tricky because the tops of the H and the D are not straight. They're kind of tipped. But the Y goes down. So I'm trying to center it and keep it straight at the same time. Okay, so smooth it down where the silk screen is. Go around all that little silk screen area. I'm kind of thinking whether I want to shadow it, but I think I'm just going to do it in black. I was going to do like a gold or a white layer behind it, and then the black on top. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with the black. So once again, I'm smoothing my black paste right in the open areas where the silk screen is. Covering all those areas up. It does not take a lot of paste, and I am at the very, very bottom of this jar. But sometimes you can take paste from one area and just smooth it over if there's an abundance in one area. You can just smooth it over, kind of like buttering toast. When it melts, you kind of move it from one area to the next. That's what I'm doing here. And I want a little more coverage right here. I'm checking my tops, my bottoms, my lefts, my rights, all my margins, making sure that I have all those. Especially my Y down here because it could get neglected. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm also very dirty. So the black is very highly pigmented. It's going to be harder to clean that transfer, but that's okay. I'm going to peel this off. Can you guys see what I'm peeling? Let's see. I'm looking. I don't see anything missed yet. It looks wonderful, guys. Howdy. I'll dry it up a little bit. Actually, what I want to do is spray this because this is harder to clean since it's black. So I want to get this wet right away. Get it working on loosening that paste. And then I'll work on drying this. As it dries, you can see it goes from a shiny to a matte. This is not fully dry yet, but it's almost there. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to work on my transfer. Now, remember I said the blacks are highly pigmented? So I'm going to take this paper towel and go over the top. And this is how much I got off so far. I'm going to do a paper towel again. I could just use my board eraser, but it just makes my board eraser really dirty. And I'd rather not get it that dirty if I don't have to. I'd rather throw away a paper towel. So I'm going to go over it again. And now I'm feeling better about the black that I've removed, although it still is pretty dirty. But I'm going to get my board eraser, squeeze it out. And you do want to go a couple different directions when you're cleaning these guys. Go up, down, left, right, circles. Get all those areas. Okay, see how much it took off? That's quite a bit. I'm going to rinse it out. And I am going to flip it over. So you don't want any paste to be in that silk screen. You want that silk screen to be clear. If you have stained borders, meaning the teal part of your transfer, that's okay. I mean, we don't like them dirty, but that's okay if they are. It's not going to affect anything on the transfer. But you do want that paste out of the silk screen. So let me dry this off. See how much it picked up drying it? I'm going to flip it over and gently go over it with my paper towel. And that should be good. So if you see this, when I hold it up, you can see that you can see through the transfer again. That silk screen is clean and it is good to use again. So I'm going to put it back on the backer. Always store them on the backer. That's what keeps them protected. Preserves that sticky. Match them up as best you can on here. Okay. I try to get all the air bubbles out. So now that it's on the backer, you can see that the background of this is kind of stained. You can see the shadowy, but the inside is still white. It's clean, so that's good. So we got that part done. Now I want to take my boot And I'm going to attach it over here. And I think I have a Jenga block. Yep, I have one right here. I'm just going to glue this to the back of my boot with glue gun. With a glue gun, the glue. Put it right here. Now the reason for that is because it's going to give it a little bit of lift. Down here. I'm going to put it like right here. Just center it right here. And press it down. And we're going to add a bow of some kind too. Let's see. So this is it so far, guys. Isn't that cute? Let me try to work on some of this this bleeding. So I have what's called a detail tool. And once it's dry, you can kind of gently chip at this to chip some of that off. And this actually has it has the wax barrier, so it might be easier too. I'm gonna try and use this little spatula for some of this. See if I can get some of it off. And then I can work at it some more. I can also touch it up with more blue if I wanted to, or I could just not even care and say it's part of the rustic look. So just scraping at the bottom of it, you can kind of see that it's coming up a little bit better. I do have a lot of work to do to get this off though. So another thing I could do is I have some makeup wands. They are like a sponge tip. Oh, here they are. These are just like makeup tip removers. I can wet this and work on it. And try to get some of that off. Okay. So I can kind of wet this a little bit. Now this paste is water soluble, but you have to scrape at it to get it off. So just getting it wet is not going to cause it to come off. But if you scrape at it a little bit, it does budge the paste. So right now it's just kind of blending the white in with the blue. But what I can do is also get my cadet paste and a paintbrush. And after I remove most of that, I can repaint some of it. Now this is going to take me some time, so I probably won't get this fixed before we get off tonight, but I'm just going to go ahead and reapply a little bit of paste. And I'll show you how it kind of works to repair it. Now remember, my original paste was watered down a little bit too, my blue. So here I'll show you guys that I cleaned up the edge of that one little thing right there. There is some inside though, and there is some right here that I'm gonna have to clean up. So I do have to work on that. But let's go on to making a bow or some kind of, oh, you know, I also have this wired, what's it called? It's called wired jute cord. I got it from the Dollar Tree. And I thought it might be able to make a lasso out of it. Do you guys think I can make a lasso out of it? Let me see. So I'm not a pro at tying lassos, and I didn't even look to see how you make a lasso, but I think you would just kind of wrap this around a couple times. See if we could cut that with some wire cutters. Okay. Actually, maybe I might be able to loop it through the top. Let's see if I can do that. Kind of cute. Let's work on a bow though. I have this ribbon that is burlap. And since we're doing like a feminine looking boot with the shimmer melon, I thought this would be kind of cute. And maybe all it needs is just like a, let's see, maybe just like an awareness bow. Go ahead and cut some of this off. And I have some other string over here. It's a wire. This is what this looks like. It's like a hot mess, but it's like a rusty wire. And I'm just going to cut a piece to kind of tie it in the middle. So all I'm going to do is get my bow and make it like an awareness ribbon. You know how those are? And then I'm going to kind of cinch it down in the center. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to cinch it down like that. And then I'm going to cinch it with the wire. So I'm going to kind of gather that if I can. Try to make my loops equal. And this one's kind of twisted. Let's see. Oh, but I want it twisted. Okay. So I kind of want it twisted so that it shows the good side. And I am just going to tie this up with this ribbon. See how it's looking. Okay. With this wire, I mean. And twist it a few times. And there's my bow. It looks like one side's a little bit wider than the other though. I'm going to try and slip that over. Center a little bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut my ends at an angle. You can dovetail them. You can do whatever you want. So I didn't leave very long tails, but I think it's going to be perfect. And actually, I think I might just put it at the very top here. And since I have my wire still from where I tied my bow, I can just put it right through the hole here. And secure it at the back. Let's see if I can get that on there. Okay, so that's there. Let's get my little, now I don't know if I like the lasso. It's kind of cute though. Okay, so let's get this straight. This here. And straighten this. And we could actually add a dab of glue if we wanted to. And maybe add something in the center here too, I don't know. But here's our project for tonight, guys. What do you guys think? Let me put it center more, there you go. I'm gonna smile for the camera. And if you like this, please give it a heart. Feel free to share it with those that you think would love it. I had lots of fun with this. I do have a little cleanup. Actually, I've kind of hidden my cleanup mess. Look at that. I need to clean this up. But it's kind of, the bow is kind of hiding some of that mess that I needed to clean up. Yeah, I think I'll add a dab of glue just to keep this bow straight. But here's our project. I hope you loved it. Rodeo is this weekend. If you have a love for horses and love for a rodeo, have a fun time this week. And I know we're going to enjoy having the weekend off this weekend. So have fun. I'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.